So it's been a while. Actually, if I think about it, it's more than just a while. Trust me, I have some really good reasons, including one that I really don't know what content to make anymore. Maybe I'll start some gaming. But anyway, today we have a very important project. So about 1.5 months ago, I found a thread on XDA talking about how you can replace your OnePlus 12's battery with the OnePlus 13 one, and the connector is similar. Theoretically, you just change the fact that you replace LAN battery with a SiCo battery with the silicon carbon technology, which can bring you about 10% more battery overall. But if your OnePlus 12 battery is a bit old, that means it's more than just 10%. And thankfully, that thread had like 2 people that tried to replace it, or at least one, and they told that they had to remove some foam or some stuff. But then a lot of people, like, we tried to ask them some questions and they never responded. Shame on you. You can't just come into a thread and tell us like, hey, I got it working, but then you just go radio silent. Like, that really doesn't make sense. So what I did is that I posted a reply and I talked about the fact that I'm 99% sure that I want to try this mod for myself, but I need to really think about it because I actually wanted to sell my phone, but I guess this is gonna be my secondary phone from now on, since I'm gonna replace the battery, and I don't really want someone to have a fire hazard except for me, because I should be able to take care of it in case something goes wrong. Spoiler, I don't. But anyway, enough rambling. Maybe you're just here because you wanna go for the installation and mod and stats. Maybe you're just a recurring visitor on my channel. In this case, well, thank you. Last week I received an invitation to the YouTube partner program, which is actually nice. Like, I'm an official YouTube partner now, so that should mean I should make better content, but no, loud equal funny. So anyway, I have the phone, I have the battery, so now let's go ahead and try this ourselves. This is what I'll be using for this procedure. I've got both some back cover adhesive and some professional T8000 clear glue in case it's not enough. 3 screwdrivers and some plastic clips, that should help. Also, I don't have a heat gun, but rather a hairdryer with 3 steps of temperature, the good old Philips, but it should do the trick. I also recommend using isopropyl alcohol. Sanitary alcohol could also work, but it's not even close to the efficiency of this one. I started heating all the sides for about 3 minutes, then I kinda realized something. The most challenging part, at least in my case, was removing the back frosted glass that the OnePlus 12 had. I have 3 total suction cups, one very small, one a bit bigger from my fix-it, and another way bigger one. Neither one of them worked since they were not sticking to this type of glass. I didn't have any problems with removing back glasses for different phones, for example OnePlus 9 Pro, OnePlus Nord, Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, and so on. This texture that the OnePlus 12 has really makes it difficult, and I'm absolutely sure it's the fact that I need a bigger suction cup or another tool to help me out, but unfortunately I didn't have access to them. Finally, the way that I got past this barrier was by using this plastic cover from the back glass adhesive tape. Can you believe it? You can also use, for example, if you have a tempered glass screen protector, you know, you peel it from a plastic thing. Well, you could try to use that if you have. Since it was thinner than the actual transparent plastic I previously used, this was able to make its way between the 2 sides, and by constantly moving this to and fro while applying some isopropyl alcohol, it finally made room for the bigger plastic card and then the rest of the edges. I saw some guys on YouTube were using some aluminum or metal plate, which was thinner and made the job simpler, so keep in mind before trying it on your own. After peeling the back glass off, notice that there are no flex cable that go on it, so this helps you out since you can just slide the adhesive without being afraid you're going to cut something. There's nothing you can break. The first thing we need to do is to remove the wireless charging coils alongside the NFC reader and the motherboard cover. There are a total of 12 Phillips head screws, including one hidden under the warranty sticker. In my case, most of them were stuck and wouldn't stick to my screwdriver, but thankfully I have some very strong magnets which made the job easier. We can now carefully remove this cover. Then there's the lower board flex cable, which can easily disconnect. Now we reached the battery. First things first, we disconnect it. Then we can use the pull tabs to remove the battery. If you feel like it's way too strong, then you can use some isopropyl alcohol that we used earlier. Now for the moment of truth, the OnePlus 13th battery. First, I wanted to compare the two of them side by side, and as you can see, the OnePlus 13's battery is a bit taller than the one from the OnePlus 12. Then I tried to put it, and unfortunately it's too big. And it's not just a little bit, it's way bigger, like it's way taller. I then remembered that someone claimed that you need to remove the foam on the lower PCB to make enough room for it. And I think I found exactly the part that he was talking about. I then proceeded to remove it and try it again. You see, even if we slightly push the battery on the lower side, the top part still can't fit, as it's hitting this metal connector which connects to the flex cable that's under the battery. What if we disconnect it and put it above the battery? Well, that's still a no, unfortunately. I tried to disconnect it, I peeled it off, then tried the battery again, and it's still no. You cannot safely do this at all, unfortunately. You see, the battery shouldn't be forced into a space. It will always need a bit of room to breathe. And I'm not talking about just leaving some empty air inside the phone. I'm talking about putting some elastic or low density materials around it. For example, the foam that was, and even the adhesive that is on the back. That adhesive is not just a tape, it's a tape with circles, which leave a bit of room. This way you can keep it safe. The only way you could theoretically fit the OnePlus 13 battery inside the OnePlus 12 is to force it, like push it on the lower part and then force it in. On the top side of the battery, you just have the battery board, so you don't really damage the battery by a lot if you force the top part. But on the lower part, you actually have the cells, which are very dangerous if you pinch them or if you damage them or, I guess, struggle to fit them. That's the thing. If you really want to fit this in, you need to force it. But this is the exact problem that the Samsung faced with their Galaxy Note 7 phone, as described here, and we all know how explosive it was. They claimed that because of how tightly the battery was fitted, especially in the corners, it bent the layers to the point that they would short circuit and start a fire. Even if you, by some miracle, managed to fit this bigger battery inside the OnePlus 12, if you drop the phone, that impact will be felt on the battery harder since you removed all the foam that shields it. That impact is absorbed by the outside rails, let's say you drop it in the corner or on the lower side. But the problem is that impact is also absorbed by the interior frame, which will push this part of the battery and you might end up with a fire hazard. Long story short, I do not recommend trying this mod at all if you care about your phone. My OnePlus 12 was bought from Canada, so it's basically the NA version. Now it's running stock EU software after an update, because I changed the regions, and the battery was brought from mobilecentrics.eu, which is a OnePlus authorized distributor. I worked with the genuine official parts and I was unsuccessful. Now on the XDA thread, 2 users claimed to have succeeded. One who went radio silent after announcing the successful operation, while the other went to a service center to carefully install it. I don't know what tricks or what voodoo stuff that guy from the center used, but if he just forced the battery in, just like how I described and also could have tried, then he performed a very dangerous act. So far, my attempt wasn't as good as I thought it would be, as I was very hyped to try and share this mod with you guys, because this is basically the first in the world. No one did a video on this matter, but unfortunately that's how modding works. Sometimes it's good, most of the times it's not good. Maybe the NA model of this phone has a smaller interior compared to the EU, India or China version, who knows? Usually phones in India and China, I mean OnePlus phones, tend to have bigger batteries because they don't have the watt-hour restriction on the batteries, such as here in the EU, so they can fit bigger batteries. So that's why I think if you have an Indian or a China version phone or an Asian market phone, you might be able to fit this one without any issues. Even if the actual specs of the OnePlus 12 in the Asian markets, it's still 5400 mAh. That might have a bigger space or not, I really don't know. If I did something wrong in the video, then please let me know in the comments. But other than that, this has been the video. Please do not try this, and I'll catch you in the next one.